Hello, everyone. I came back again to talk about something, that was on my chest. So, I want to mention about grieving. Let's talk about some grieving here. Um, we all go through a grieving process. We go through this. We've all lost our best friends, our loved ones, people who are very, very dear to us, close to us in heart. And, we all will go through this. Um, some of us have already gone through it, and all of us will go through it. And it's a process. The grieving is a process, and is a long process, and it may not even end. It may not even end. You will probably end up grieving over that individual all the way up until the day you die. Um, you have some people that are in your life that will probably say, well, hasn't it been 2 years? Shouldn't you be over that by now? Move on. How dare you say that to somebody? How can you even fix your face to say that to somebody? You're just wrong. They're the ones that need to get over it. They're the ones that need to get over it. Because the bottom line is, no one can tell you how long you need to grieve. No one. No one has the right or the authority to tell you how long you need to grieve a loved one. Period. That's your personal journey that you go on. And if someone is willing to join you on that journey and to help you through that process, that's great. But if someone is there being toxic and questioning you about that process and when you're going to get over it and why haven't you moved on from it, and uh, that's just part of life, deal with it. Fuck you. Fuck you. You deal with it. So, okay, when you go through that, let's see how you deal with it. Yeah, okay. Then hope I'm around to say, aren't you over that yet? Get over it. So, you know, and yes, me as a person, I definitely, knowing me as sarcastic and smart mouth as I am, um, definitely would say that. I definitely would say that back to that person, if they went through the process, because I know I went through the process. Um, and if they said that to me, I know definitely if I was around them still, I would say it to them to make them realize that's how painful it was when you said it to me. Retaliation. Retaliation isn't always the best thing. It really isn't. But for me as a person, sometimes it just makes me feel better in certain situations. But again, going back to the grieving process, like I said, it is a long process. You go through so many different stages of it. You're sad, you know, you're guilty, you know, um, you're just completely emotional. You go through sad, guilt, and anger. Sad, guilt, and anger. And I understand. I completely understand because I've been through it. My mom has been gone for 7 years, going on 7 years this July, and my dad has been gone for 2 years, and that's just been this past February. So I know the process. I know the process of being sad, feeling guilty, being angry. Sometimes I feel like I don't even know how I feel. Like I feel empty. Sometimes I feel empty. And then there's times where I go and I don't feel anything. And what I mean by that is like it's not affecting me, for this week. I don't feel anything. I'm not feeling it at all. I'm not going through the emotions. I'm content and I'm just moving on with my life. And then when I feel those moments, I'll all of a sudden, I'll go back into that. That's a weird moment for you to feel. How can you forget about them? Why are you so happy? Why you go into doubt and question yourself. But it's normal. It's just normal. It's normal to go back and forth with all these type of feelings, being sad, being mad, feeling guilty, also just feeling like nothing never really happened, things like that, and then snapping back into it, thinking about it again and feeling like, how did I forget about them, or why am I not still sad about it, or why doesn't it bother me as much? So you just, it's a roller coaster. It's definitely a roller coaster losing someone, and that's how you're dealing. You're just dealing. The grieving process. Um, for me, like I said, it's a long journey. I go back and forth with it a lot, and it's just a everyday roller coaster for me. There are days where, like I said, for me personally, where it feels like I haven't lost them and like they're still here, you know. But I know they're not. But it just feels like it. It just feels like it. And I think what that is just their presence, their spirit. Their spirit is with me. So with their spirit being with me, I feel good. So that's why I don't feel like I'm missing them or thinking about them or going through that part of the grieving process at those moments. Um, so and that will happen to people too. That will happen to you. You'll get in that process, and that will happen. And then there's times where something funny has happened or something serious has happened, and I'm like, oh, I need to call my mom or I need to call my dad. And then reality kicks in and said, oh, you can't talk to them, you can't call them, you can't talk to them. And then sometimes me personally would be like, I'll get sad, but then I'll be okay. And then other times when that has happened to me, I'll just be like, oh well, hey, I can't call them, it's okay, they probably done seen it, heard it anyway. And then I'll look up and just give a nod. But again, don't ever, 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 ever let anybody make you feel like you need to rush through a grieving process, because you don't, and you will not. You sit there and you heal the best way you know how to heal. And if you need to go to counseling for it, you go to counseling for it. Whatever it is that you need to do to get through the grieving process, you do it. But do not allow anyone to make you feel bad about the way you feel, about the way you're grieving. If you cry, if your father, whoever it is, passed away just 2 months ago, and you've cried every day since, and it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And if they died 10 years ago and you cried every single day since, it's okay. It's okay. It's part of life. We have to go through that process to heal, and to deal. It's just the bottom line. So again, like I said, if anyone ever in your life ever says to you, get over it, or when are you getting over it, or hasn't it been long enough, you look them in the face and you say, fuck you, you get over it. Peace.